Because I enable multi-factor authentication, it says your organization need more information to keep your account secure. So he has to go to next in order to fill up those information. And these information says, do you want to authenticate the user against the phone? That means using OTP. Every time when the user will pass the password, if the password will be hacked, okay, and somebody will know the password of yours, okay, he will not be able to continue till the time he will not be able to pass the OTP password. So I will select my country. I'm into India. And if I give my here, I'll get one OTP. Let it come. Let me check whether I got an OTP from Microsoft. Yes, I got it. So I will pass that OTP which has come from Microsoft. Every time it will be new one. So I'll verify. Now, please understand and read the step 3. It says in some of the application you may use in your organization like Outlook, like Apple Mail, like Office, Microsoft Office, where you need, this particular validation for this particular user. I don't want to use, this particular user ID for all these apps. If I'm using this app, so I can actually install something called Microsoft Authenticator. I hope you've been aware of. Like Google Authenticator in many of the devices, you got something called Microsoft Authenticator app under, let's say I'm using iPhone, is actually under App Store. You can actually download it from the Android store also, Play Store also. So if I just go to App Store just to show you, because I don't want to install this app, you can install this app also. So I don't want to do it as I have to save this particular app password there. I'll just say done. Now what will happen if I sign out from this user next time? Let me sign out. And meanwhile, let me actually show it to you that I'm getting the password, and you'll also get it tracking the password which has been coming here. Just give me a second if I can show you. So here, if I just look for file new tab, file, no. So here I got like the mail here. So if I just select user 1, pass the password, immediately I'll get some message. So you can check that message has come here. This is a message which has come. If I open this message, this is a message which has come. So earlier it was 374930. Now it is 512429. So I'll add it here. I'll close it. And I verify. Every time I have to log in, now please understand, in case if somebody changes the device, okay, let's say user changes the device and his device got lost, so he has to raise a ticket to the Azure admin, and Azure admin will do what? Simply he'll go to this particular portal, again by going to portal, select Azure AD, select users, and here he'll go to multi-factor authentication. In the multi-factor authentication page, he'll select for that user and say disable. When he say disable, the user previous authentication process will be disabled, and when he say enable, next time the user will be asked to enter the new phone number or the new device for the matter. I hope you understood my point. This is called MFA. But here what we can do is, if you have a premium edition of Azure AD, you can use third-party authenticator like SiteMinder. So here we have an option, something called third-party authenticator also. We can actually specify that when the user will log in, we have an option of specifying the third-party authenticator. As long as his credential been not signed out, yes, you are right. If your credential is not been actually what do you call expired, I mean, in the cache, yes, correct. So it will not be explicitly logged here. Correct, you're right. Amrendra, I hope you understood my point. Okay, so one more example which I wanted to tell you. I hope you remember that we created a site. Which site? If you can recall, we created a site called web app service. In this case, we had a web app, and if you go to that web app, which is the app URL is amitsadev1.azurewebsite.net. This is the URL. And if I give you in the chat box, guys, can you please visit that site? Not via Traffic Manager, but via normal site website. Can you visit? Correct. Now, what I want that any Tom, Dick, Harry, an anonymous user will not be allowed to get into the site. Please understand. One, as a programmer, because I act as a programmer also side by side. Okay. So as a programmer, I can create a single sign-on code within .NET and within Java both. But take an example, if you wanted to utilize the capability of Azure AD here, and without making changes in the code, how can you do that? So if I just go to this web app, which is my web app service under this, there's an option called authentication. Here, if I enable the authentication, and if I say log in with Azure AD, and here it says, oh, AD is not configured. If I click onto the AD, and I said, okay, these setting allow to sign in Azure AD. I say express. So my current directory is Amit Sharma MCP Outlook. Under that, it will create one app called Amit Dev1. Okay. I'm not giving a common data services permission. I'm just giving this permission to this particular website only. And I say, okay. Once I do this and I say save, what will happen at the back? We'll see. Once the application will be saved, if I just go back to Azure Active Directory, here I've got something called app registration. Under app registration, if you just see all application, one of the application called Amit Dev1 is also been synced here right now. And what does that mean? That means if I just go and look for that site, can you please again visit that site using the same URL? Hello? Are you allowed to, sorry, have you been taken to this particular type of page? Very good, Amrendra. Asking for authentication. And here, because I'm already logged in with user one. So let me tell you something here. If I give you the password of user1, so user which you have to pass here is user1@coolbugs.tk, and the user password is mcsc_2003. Can you pass that in the login box? Because I cannot give you my admin credentials. If you pass that, it says your application is not published by Microsoft. Do you want to accept it? I accept it. And now I've been shifted to that side. Is it? If you clean your cache from the browser and including the password which has been saved in the browser, as a token. Okay. Okay, just give me a second. Five 137. Can you look, Kevin? If it is asking you authentication code. Okay. If one has checked it, don't check it again and again, because I'll be bugged with password. Just give me a second. I will stop the password first. Hold for a second, Amrinder, I'll give it to you. Otherwise, the message will be bombarded here. So just give me a second. Amrinder, can you now check that username is this and password is this? Amrinder? Now this time, Kevin, because I disabled the MFA for user one, so user one will not be asked to enter the password. Oh, sorry, user one will not be asked to enter the OTP. My password is correct, sir. This is what I gave to Kevin also. Kevin, it was working for you, yeah? Is anybody else apart from you two are trying? Or people got relaxed because of the recording? What if you will not get the recording then? What if I stop the recording? Okay. So even if you actually open a new browser, Kevin, and with the same username and password, if you open an incognito mode for any browser, you enter the same username and password, it will work, sir. Because username and password is not incorrect. So there are two labs. Okay, wonderful, Amarendra. And that's what I told you, na dear, that the password is not a wrong thing, because Kevin also tried. Okay, what am I trying to tell you here is, like, we did something called MFA. One is single sign-on, sorry, multi-factor authentication, and one is single sign-on. We saw that we can configure Azure AD integration for any web application deployed under our Azure subscription. Like I deployed under a PaaS solution called App Service. What was the lab all about, guys? This conclude two module, module 9, module 10. Yep. We are left with module 5 and module 6 and module 7, which is monitoring. Yep. And data production. That will do tomorrow. So that day after we will be left with module 11 and module 12 only. Module 11 will be all talking about theory, governance and compliance. Okay. Only one practical will be there. And module 12 will be there will be practical in module 12, at least file syncs and CDN, if not import, export and data box, but at least those two practical will be there. So that's how we'll complete the session. So I would request you to please go through with my video, whichever I've covered so far, whatever I've covered so far in this particular lab, because I understand this lab, not only you guys, please do not get disheartened, because not only you, everybody who's not been that much good with the AD too much. I mean, I'm not talking about the AD. I'm not doubting your credibility. What I'm talking about, again, the steps are too fast, and not everyone has been actually doing every aspect of AD. So anybody who's been actually doing it day in, day out of AD, they know what all we have done, except the integration part, which was like that using AD Connect, what it was doing. So everything else is like forest to forest relationship we have established by going all the way to the Azure Active Directory, and then we've been to custom domain, and then we added a custom domain, and then we actually give a name to that domain as a public domain name. All those things were already been part of, and people have been doing in the normal Active Directory case. Any questions? Anything which you didn't understand, please raise your concern. That you have to speak to Mr. Bhagin, sir. Even I don't receive it. It will be in between Mr. Bhagin and the RPS coordinator, Mr. Ganesh. Okay. So I'm okay with the recording given to you guys, but I don't manage the recording. Somebody else manages the recording, which is RPS side. So Mr. Bhagin will be, your point of contact. I may only convey to that gentleman, Mr. Ganesh. Any concerns of today's session? Even though this is not a lab which was there, but I hope you might have enjoyed the lab of integration of on-premises AD with Azure AD and seeing the multi-factor authentication. Oh, nobody enjoyed it? Okay means what? Okay. Okay is a very generic term. What, Kevin, your wink is actually saying something, very, very fishy. So did you really enjoy it, or, just for the fun purpose you're saying so? Please do let me know, because usually we don't show this lab. We just actually show the practical part in terms of the theoretical part, exactly how things works. So I hope you, once you go through with the recording, you may come across what all we have covered. Okay, Mr. John and Mr. Bhagin is around. Yeah, would be more enjoyable, definitely. This is the reason. Remember, like, the last time when I was actually taking the last part of your session, I told you, like, that you have to do me one favor, that you have to go to freenom.com. I don't know whether you remember it or not. You can see in my day, last to last day recording. I mean, say last day recording, sorry. That time I mentioned that go to freenom.com and register yourself. Do it at least that, because we got 2 days in between. So none of you actually did, except I think Mr. Who was the gentleman who did it? I don't remember his name right now. I think Mr. Asad. Mr. Asad said that he registered himself with a free norm. He might be doing the lab at the back. That's why he's not responding right now. So that's all for today, gentlemen. If you have query, please do let me know. Otherwise, we can wind up the session for today because it is too tiring. What about John, Mr. Bhagan, Syed, other people, other gentlemen? I think very less people have joined today. Vipin P has not joined today. Saf, what about you? You didn't pass any comment today's session. Did you understand, Saf? Mr. Saf Ahmed, Mr. Rajesh, Ranjan? Yeah, I understand, like, that one has to review, and that's why, like, that take the video as fast as possible by coordinating with Mr. Bhagin, so that if you come across a question, because right now I'm actually with you for next 2 days also. So if you'll be actually bringing those videos and take the do it practically, I don't, you will be given the time to do the practicals, or you'll be having your other office assignment. But if you do it side by side, you had 2 days. Last 2 days were actually nothing might have been asked to you guys, because there's a lot of thing which is happening in context to Corona. So that's why I thought, like, that maybe that might have been an opportunity for you guys. But I was not aware of, like, that you didn't actually get the videos received. So that was again one surprise to me. So I'll speak to Mr. Ganesh and we'll get back to you, or maybe I will ask Mr. Bhagan to speak to. I think Mr. Ganesh seems to be around if he's been on silent. Ganesh, are you there? Maybe he just went. He may not be there. Logged on only. Mr. Logeshwaran, did you understand things for today's session? I think not everyone has enjoyed the AD part today. That's what is the feeling. Mr. Heyman, I think a lot of people have been left out. So let's wind up for the day, gentlemen. And tomorrow be on time, because I will not wait for you guys. You have to be logged in exactly at 6.